Hello everyone, this is Andrew Market Prep. We are 1.5 hours into London session. Let's look quickly through global markets today, and we'll also look at some potential setups forming. So here we have dollar index. We sold off quite aggressively last night during New York opening, more towards lunch. And the reason for that was de-escalation news from Donald Trump. And he actually suggested a deal, that there is a deal with Iran that might be signed soon. So whenever there are some glimpses of hope, the markets are trying to price in some sort of recovery in risk assets, and therefore dollar sells off because it's a safe haven. At the same time, oil also sold off, which is a big driver for the current sentiment. And when the energy prices are lower, it helps indices, stock indices. It's supposed to help risk on currencies as well. And we can see that pound and euro are quite strong today, along with New Zealand dollar is also quite holding up. However, I'm a bit puzzled why Aussie and CAD are one of the weakest ones today. So I wouldn't say it's a pure risk on sentiment. I would say it's more of a mixed risk on sentiment. And a dollar is pretty strong today as well. It could be due to profit taken from yesterday. So yeah, it adds to this kind of mixed status. So let's look through some concrete potential setups that I chose to track closely. The first one is New Zealand dollar versus US dollar. We have some consolidation here between 0.58 and 58.40. So I'm looking for a breakout above this structure and possibly closing above 10 days moving average. You can see the blue MA here. In order for that to happen, technically speaking, we need to stay here longer. We need to consolidate longer. So I guess it might happen next week, somewhere closer to Tuesday, Wednesday. We have some news coming up next week. So yeah, that could be a trigger. Why New Zealand dollar fundamentally is because this is currently one of the most hawkish central banks out there. So when they made a rate decision, that was a hold. However, it was a hawkish hold because the stance became more confident that there would be more hikes in the future. There was some sort of internal push to hike, and also a higher projected rate path, and stronger warning that hikes may be needed sooner and by more than previously expected. So this is quite a British, quite a hawkish, stance from New Zealand central bank. That's why I'm interested in New Zealand longs. I've been watching this pair since the actual rate decision here at the end of May. Back then, I missed the trade. Also, beautiful breakout above the range and closing above the 10 days moving average. Nice retest, and there was a beautiful entry point at the pullback. Now we are having a similar situation, so I'm interested in this pair. At the same time, we had a strong NFP report, as you see in dollar index here on 5th of June. Dollar pushed high quite wildly back then, and that could be one of the holding forces for New Zealand dollar to break higher, but we'll see. I would like it to consolidate more. Now, moving to the next one is quite an uncommon index in a trading community, but it's interesting because this is a Spanish index, IBEX. Well, technically speaking, we broke above all-time high, and we have a big triangle that's been forming since February, and we broke above the highs. So I'm looking for a pullback retest of this 18.5 thousand for the entry. Why would we fundamentally be interested in this is because, well, the concern for stocks in general right now is NFP report. The latest NFP report supports hawkish stance of the Fed. So there is some pressure on stocks in general. However, Spanish IBEX is the least exposed to the US among all other European indices or Asian. So it's more exposed to Latin America. Yeah, and it might not feel the impact of a hawkish stance of the Fed. At least the chart tells us that kind of story, in my view. So we'll see. I'm not rushing to be in, but I'm looking into some pullback here. And finally, we have our Bitcoin that's been consolidating near 60,000, beautiful round level. We are starting to consolidating even above 10 days moving average, and I'm looking for a breakout above 64,000 to go long. Well, fundamentally speaking, again, it might be held by NFP, by the sentiment after the NFP report, and it's better if we have some bearish dollar catalyst if we want the move to be sustainable. Yeah, the recovery of Bitcoin. And also in crypto market, we often have the access to the volume. So the breakout above 64,000, a big volume, would also be a good confirmation. So that's it for now. I don't expect much for today's New York session. More of a wait and see stance, and trade safely. And if you have any thoughts or comments, you're welcome to share your opinion. I would be more than happy to address or to answer any questions. See you in the next entry market prep. Bye.